belief systems is that you actually run your life based on your beliefs. Or let me put it another way. Your beliefs run your life. The way you respond to things, your attitude towards life, your values, all of those reflect what you really believe and what you really think about yourself. Okay? Now, the reason you get provoked when people say certain things to you is because of the beliefs you have about those things that were said to you. If somebody tells you you're stupid and you get offended, you're getting offended because you have believed to yourself that stupid is an insult, even though, it might not mean anything nice, but you have believed that this person saying this to you is describing you as such. What you fail to do sometimes is to ask yourself, but am I stupid? I'm not stupid. So if he thought I was stupid, that's his opinion. I may not be able to change his opinion, but I don't have to accept it. You see? Now that's a different way of processing the things that are hurled at you that you don't like. But guess what? Someone tells you, you're stupid, and you say, what? You call me stupid? Do you know who I am? And then you start responding to it. You see, you're responding that way because of the belief, because of the interpretations, because of what it means to you. Okay? And even if someone goes outrightly to say, today I want to annoy you, I want to tell you you're stupid, you're useless, and tells you all of those terrible things, you can choose to say, well, it's his opinion. It's her point of view. Unfortunately, I don't agree with it, but I'll give him some time to come around and understand that I'm not as stupid as he thinks, or I'm not stupid either. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. My point is, how you respond to things is determined by what you believe about those things. And that is why self-mastery is always the first thing I put forward when I'm preparing people for a relationship. It's self-mastery, because the better you are, the better relationship you will have, the better person you will become. The better you are, the better a partner you would be. So you need to pay attention to that. To becoming better, you need to pay attention to that. Okay, now why am I saying all of these? Because eventually these opinions that we're talking about this past week and now, these opinions were formed from people's experiences that they then internalized and it made it into their belief system. So for example, a young lady who started getting into relationship at the age of maybe 13, let me ask you a question. A relationship that starts at age 13 for a girl, say the truth, under normal circumstances, is that really a relationship that would lead to marriage? Typically. All right? Unless you're getting married at 17 or 18. But if she's going to get married probably in the next 10 years, are you telling me she's going to be in that relationship with this same person all through till she's ready for marriage? So what's going to happen? Yes, exactly. Someone said, nope, it's not the case. So what's going to happen is she's going to get in a relationship at 13, enjoy herself, explore her feelings, really be close to this guy. Oh, they're just having a nice time. He's just everything to me. But guess what? Probably they were in the same college or the same class or school. And then after a while, somebody has to leave. Somebody leaves the city, somebody leaves town, leaves the country. Before long, she's going to meet somebody else because there's a void that has been created, and she believes this void needs to be filled by a guy. I need just that guy, who I can lean on his shoulders, I can hug him, somebody I can talk to, and if they are romantically involved, so, you also need somebody you can, gratify those sensual desires with. You see, so what's going to happen? Before long, she's going to get into another relationship. Okay. Now, this time, she might not be lucky. The first guy may have been a really cool guy because he was just a young, innocent boy. He really didn't even know what relationship was. He was just enjoying friendship with the girl, right? And then now she meets a guy who is a bado. Before you know, the guy is sleeping with her, he's sleeping with her friends, he's pursuing other girls because he's just in for the fun. And then she gets really heartbroken. She leaves that guy and then she meets another guy. This time she thinks he's going to be a better guy. And then he's doing the same thing. They're cool for a couple of months. And then one day she finds out, he's hitting on some other girl. And then before you know it, before this person is 24 years, for example, she has had a series of relationships, perhaps even up to 5 or more. Now, because of those experiences she's had, when you ask her to describe boys or men, she's going to say stuff like, guys are just a serious bunch who just like to take advantage of girls, just get what they want, have their way, and at the end of the day, they dump the girl. Now, that's probably what she's going to have to say. But where did that come from? From the experiences she gathered over the years, and then those experiences formed beliefs, formed her belief systems about men. The next time she meets a guy, she's going to be wary of him. She's going to be watching out because, now she knows some of the signs, before you know it, when he behaves like this, she says, hi, it's one of them, or they all want the same thing. They just want to get into your, get under your pants. And that's all. You see, why? Because of experience. And then that experience has informed her belief system. Now, when she's going to be talking to other girls about boys, what's she going to say? She's going to be sharing from all her woes and going to be telling you guys are just terrible people. Now, if she wasn't lucky, perhaps her mother did not even live with her dad. So, the mom also used to tell her that men are just terrible. No, you can't trust a man. The mother gives her all those ideas. And now she has grown up to experience some for herself. I hope you see where all of this is going. At the end of the day, that belief system is warped, is messed up because of her experiences. And then she'll go on to train other people, teach her children, teach others, and say, men are terrible, don't trust a man, and all of those things. All I'm just trying to say here is this. Be careful of where you pick your beliefs from. You want to begin to audit the things you believe. You want to begin to think about what you think about. You want to begin to think about what you have held as true for so long. Because your beliefs are those things you have held on to as true. That's what beliefs are. Okay? So when they tell you all men are cheats and you accept it, why are you accepting it? How many men have you met in the world? Is it just because of the stories you have heard around? You don't have to believe that. Okay? Because what you believe becomes your reality. And this is where many Christians have a problem, because they are praying for one thing, but they are believing something else. And then it's looking like their prayers are not working. Okay? It's looking like they are getting the opposite of what they are praying for. What is actually happening is that your belief is what is stronger than that thing you're saying or asking for in prayer. Because at the end of the day, the way God has designed the universe, it operates on principles, right? Now, you attract what you believe. You attract what you keep thinking about the most. You need to know this. If you think that marriage is hard and impossible, your relationships will be hard. And when you get married, it is going to be hard. Why? Because that is what you believe. If you believe that no matter how bad things get, it's going to get better, or I'm not going to allow whatever is going on around me to affect my disposition towards life, guess what? Things may be bad around you, but your disposition towards life is always going to be up. And guess what? Irrespective of the things that are bad around you, because your disposition, your attitude towards life is always hopeful, is up, is always expectant. Guess what? People will see you and not have an idea the things that are going on in your life, because you're not going to be looking like what you're going through. You're still going to be radiant with joy, with life, with energy, until one day somebody hears what you're going through and they wonder, but really? How come she's still full of life? How come she's still able to help other people? How come he's still able to do this and that? Meanwhile, you're going through a lot. Why is that? Because your attitude, okay, you have empowered your mind, you've trained yourself to not allow your internal, to not allow yourself to be affected by the things going on the outside. Let me put it like that. Okay. So things may be bad on the outside, but you have taken charge of your internal space. You have taken charge, control of your internal heaven, and you're not about to allow any invasion of hell, to spoil it. So what I'm saying is this: you need to pay attention to what you have believed all these years about marriage. You want to go back and start checking it. What do I believe about marriage? Where did these beliefs come from? At what age or at what point in my life did I even start believing these things? You need to answer these questions. What are your beliefs about marriage? What are the things your parents told you, for example, about marriage? What are the things your closest friends told you about marriage? What are the things you read up the most about marriage? And then let me say something. You see, there are people who are mostly inclined towards the negative things of life. You see, so you don't see the good news, you don't see the great marriages out there. All you see and all you keep making reference to are the ones that are not working. Why do you do that? Every time you're looking for the failed ones, every time you're looking for the breakup stories, you read the story so diligently, you believe what everybody's saying. Listen, when people break up, both of them are hurt. Anything they're saying out there is going to most likely paint the other person as the bad person. So why are you paying attention to that? When you will not even have the opportunity to sit with them and objectively even understand what happened. You see, but what happens is many people hear these stories and they pick all those negative vibes and they begin to tell themselves that, oh, marriage is a terrible thing, marriage is hard, marriage is difficult, this or that, Yeah, thank you for that comment, Beulah. Marriage is a great thing, especially with the right person. That's so true. That's so true. So you want to start asking yourself, what are the things I believe? Really, think about it. That's what this is about. What are the things I believe about marriage? Then how did I form those beliefs? How? If you think through it, you will discover that perhaps all of those beliefs you're holding on to are as a result of your environment. The things you heard around you, the things people said, the way the couples around you, the married people around you, the ways they behave towards each other. If you grew up in a home where they were always fighting, husband and wife always fighting, you would think that there cannot be a marriage where people are not fighting. You would think that it's just a normal thing for a man to hit his wife when he's offended. You might think it's just a normal thing for a woman to call her husband names when she's offended. You might think that's just okay, especially when after all those fights, a few months down the line, you see that the woman is pregnant. That means these people even had time to have sex. So you're wondering that, okay, maybe it works together or quarrels more, fights more, then make up. Okay, it's all part of the package, because you wonder, they keep fighting, but yet, they have time to kiss and smooch and have sex and even raise children. Really? I thought these guys hated themselves. So you just say, okay, maybe it's the way it works. Yeah, if he behaves anyhow, she can talk to him the way she likes. She can shout at him. She can hurl insults at him. He too can raise his hands and hit her and then apologize later after all and tell her he loves her, buy her flowers, and they're back together and everything is okay. And then you just think that that's what marriage is about. Please, that's not how marriage should be. One of the wrong opinions that people share about marriage is that, there must be quarreling in marriage. There must not be quarrels. Now, let me say this. There can be, misunderstanding. There can be disagreements. But those disagreements and misunderstanding don't have to so deteriorate into becoming conflicts and into becoming fights and becoming verbal exchanges and physical exchanges. No, it doesn't have to degenerate to that. Why should there be misunderstanding? Because two of you are two different people. You see this point I'm making? I cannot overemphasize it. You are getting married to somebody who is entirely different in every way from you. First of all, your genders are different. That makes a whole world of difference. It affects how you see things. It affects what you say, how you say it, how you interpret it, how you apply it. It affects everything. The way the guys process things is completely different from the way the ladies process things. And this is no fault of anyone. It is just your biology. It's just the way you're wired. Okay, so that is why there will be misunderstanding. And like I always say, misunderstanding just means that the understanding was missed at some point. So if you're careful enough to check the point where it was missed, you'll probably find it and fix it, and there will be understanding. I hope you see what I'm saying. Okay, but it does not have to degenerate to fights and conflicts or quarrels where both of you are raising your voices at each other, you're hurling insults at each other, you're getting physically, involved. No, it does not have to get to that. You can have a quarrel-free marriage. Will there be misunderstandings? Yes, there can be. But guess what? So long as both of you are inclined towards making it work, with time and as you grow older and as you're submitted to one another and you're looking out for the good of your partner above your own good, do you know what will happen eventually? With time, you guys will learn how to avoid those conflicts or those misunderstandings and disagreements. Why? Because you'd have learned so much of each other that you know what to do. You will see the crisis points in front and you will avoid it. All right. You will know the kind of things that are triggers for those emotions you guys don't like and you will avoid them. I hope somebody gets what I'm saying. All right. So one of those wrong ideas is that you cannot have a quarrel-free marriage. Take it from me. You can have a quarrel-free marriage. Howbeit, there may be misunderstanding and disagreements, but they can be managed to not degenerate to quarreling and fighting and cursing at each other. Okay. So you need to know that, again, all of these rest on what you believe. It's what you believe that will determine how you react or respond. Have you seen, you can recall sometimes where you just see some people laughing. Okay, let me use this example. Some of us had self-esteem issues when we were growing up at some point in our lives. Where you feel like, oh, I don't like this part of my body. I don't like the shape of my nose. I don't like my leg. I don't like my complexion. I don't like my hair. Whatever it was that thing. Every child sometimes have that area where they're conscious of themselves like that, and then, because you're conscious of it, you just believe that when you go outside, that is what people notice about you. So one day, you went somewhere, you saw two people talking, looking in your direction, and you started feeling uneasy. Why? Because your mind just told you, oh my God, they've noticed my skirt. They've noticed my legs. They've noticed my nose. They are talking about my nose. That one is even touching his nose. He's talking about my nose. And then they start laughing and you say, oh my God, these guys are laughing at me. And guess what? You get angry. You get offended. At the end of the day, they might not even have seen you. They were looking in your direction, but were looking at something way beyond you or something, on the other side of the road. It may not even have been you at all. But guess what? Because you left with the consciousness that there is something about me that people would laugh at. There's something about me that is not cool. You see, you go out there and you begin to interpret all the other happenings around you as though they were targeted at you. Meanwhile, it probably wasn't the case. I hope you get what I'm saying. That's how your beliefs affect you. It is what you believe to yourself. In the same vein, if you believe that, oh, I'm great, I'm fantastic, I'm the best version of myself, I'm looking good, I'm blessed just the way I am, I could not have come in any better way. You see, when you go out there and people are laughing, even if they are laughing at you, see his head, you tell yourself, this head, if you know what this head is carrying, in fact, you will come and bless me. Why? Because you have a very rich and robust self-concept. You know that there is nothing wrong with you. You know that you're not disadvantaged in any way. So there is nothing anybody's going to say to you that will make you feel somehow. You see, your beliefs, what you believe, what you think about, what you have internalized, what you have made your meanings, what meanings you have formed and given to things. So again, the task I said you should do. What are your beliefs about marriage? Where did those beliefs come from? How did you get those beliefs? Think about it. And then, this belief, is it universal? Does it apply everywhere? Is it everybody's reality? If it's not everybody's reality, then you have a right to drop it and choose the beliefs that would work for you. Even if it's not everybody's reality, do you like it? Do you like it? They say marriage cannot be sweet. Is that what you want for your marriage? Is that what you want? You want to think about that. Is that what you want? If it's not what you want, then you have a right to look for what you want and make it form, the frame of your thinking about that thing. Tell yourself, my home will be the sweetest place on earth for my family. Tell yourself, my marriage is going to be awesome. I'm going to be best friends with my spouse. You need to tell those things to yourself. Okay? So you may need to walk with me again. I need to get the door. But I'm sure somebody understands what I'm saying. And, okay. So you need to work on what forms the center of your thinking. All right. Let me look for one or two other examples that people talk about. And, of course, so some months back, we talked about my spec, and if you remember the things we said about spec then, we said that many times you don't even really know what your real spec is. Okay, now what I was going to say about that is that now some people feel like I have to be married to this kind of person, this particular kind. And then you meet great people, but they are not that kind. And then you just believe it's not going to work. Listen, you need to cut yourself some slack. All right, you need to adjust that expectation a bit. There are certain things that should be fundamental: spirituality, morality, values, compatibility. If you find such in any person, and then, there is that connect, you can see yourself in the person's future. You can imagine a life with both of you being friends for a long time, right? Whether the person matches your external and physical spec, feel free to consider such a person for marriage. So long as all these other things I spoke about are in sync: spirituality, morality, values, compatibility, all right, in different areas. Feel free to consider that person for marriage. It does not have to be the picture perfect you were thinking of. Guess what? I tell people all of the time that the real qualities you need, you might not see them, externally. The real qualities that matter to you, you might not see them externally. Okay? Yes, you want a fine boy. Do you want a fine boy that will beat you up? You will say no. Do you want a fine boy that will not know how to take care of his children? You would say no. Do you want a fine boy that will pursue everything on skirt that crosses his path? You would say no. So why are you focusing on fine boy instead of looking for those other things? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, those things are not things you might find externally. Most times you might find it when you have engaged with this person to find out what kind of value systems they have. You see? So it doesn't have to be that spec you have in your mind. Be open a little bit. Let your spirit be open. All right? And check your genuine friends. Okay? Check from your genuine friends. It could be any of your existing genuine friends already. Okay? Because you guys are friends, nobody's trying to impress the other. You guys just keep it real and you enjoy spending time together. Who told you can't make a good marriage? You see? So disabuse your mind of the fact that it must look like this or like that. It doesn't have to be like that. Okay? Another misleading opinion about marriage is that, in marriage, don't trust anybody. Don't even trust your spouse. You don't know what people can do. I heard somebody saying one time in a particular church, I almost felt like running to go take the microphone and just, doing some correction there. The woman was saying confidently, don't trust anybody. Me, I don't even trust my husband. I don't trust my husband. Don't trust anybody. You cannot trust anybody. What kind of talk is this now? And then somebody will listen to it and say, it's true. It's true. Then people start sharing their stories of woes. And then you think that's how life is. Listen, when you hear those kind of things, you know that that person is speaking from their own experience. Their experience cannot be the experience of the whole world. Their experience cannot be the experience of humanity. Their experience cannot be, especially when it's negative, cannot be the will of God for that subject matter. So why adopt that? Simply because of who is saying it. Those are the kind of mindsets that people take into marriage that start causing problems. Don't trust anybody. Be careful. Have your plan B. That's another opinion about marriage that is misleading. Go into marriage with your plan B, so that if your spouse is doing anyhow, you can move on, Someone says, I see that with a lot of people, using other people. Exactly. Using others as their next of kin instead of their spouse. It happens a lot because they don't trust their spouses. I mean, that's so wrong. When you're thinking about marriage, please think more about the future than about now. Think more about the values you guys will share in the long term than the pleasures you're enjoying now. When you think like that, there are certain people who may give you all the pleasure now, but you can't see the future with them. You will drop those ones and go for the ones that might not look like the fun you want now, but have a promise of a beautiful, relationship with you. All right? So, trust no one. Don't even trust your spouse. That is a lie from the pit of hell. Okay? Relationship cannot work without trust. Trust is built with time. Before yourself, you are saying whether you can trust your spouse. Can your spouse trust you? Do you keep your commitments? When you say you're meeting at so place and time, do you show up or do you forget? Do you keep to your words? I will do this for you. And then you forget today, you forget tomorrow, you forget next week, you forget. And every time they have to keep reminding you. I won't do this again. And then you keep doing it over and over again. You see, those are things that can spoil, spoil a relationship. They kill trust. Okay. Do you say one thing and do another? All right. Are your actions consistent with the things you say? Can you really be trusted that what you said you would do yesterday is the same thing you will do today and the same thing you will do tomorrow? Can you really be trusted like that? So my point is, before you're looking at a trustworthy spouse, how much trustworthiness do you exhibit in yourself? Okay? The summary of what I'm saying is, you can actually trust your spouse. You should actually trust your spouse. If you think you don't trust the person, feel free to not get into a relationship with the person. Not that you get into a relationship and then you start saying, I don't trust you. All right? Or if you see the things that makes that person's trustworthiness questionable, address them before it becomes marriage or before it becomes the next level of relationship. Address those your concerns. Address them. Okay, address them. And if you're not convinced, then don't go ahead. But no, some people will see all the indications and still go ahead in the hopes that somehow it go better, things will change. We did a series on red flags and yellow flags and all of them flags in relationships. We did that last month. Okay, so if you missed that, please, you can check it out on our YouTube or here on our handle. All right. So my point is, let me just wrap it up. Pay attention to what you have believed about marriage. Do a beliefs audit. Check your thoughts. What have you believed all this while? Where did it come from? Are these beliefs empowering? Do they help me become a better person? Do they help me become a sweeter person? Do they make me become a better spouse or not? Ask yourself those questions. Okay. And if you find that those beliefs are disempowering, they don't make you your best self, they don't make you have a positive outlook on life, please drop those beliefs like hot potatoes and replace them with new, empowering, and positive beliefs, because you have to take charge of your mind. Proverbs 4:23, guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it flows the issues of life. Guard your heart with maximum security, because the issues of life would come out from there. All right. I'm going to stop here for now. All right. We already started late and I don't want to push it much longer. But we'll continue next week and the week after that. Okay. So, feel free to drop your comments, share the posts, go on our YouTube, subscribe, and let other people have access to the things we're sharing. We like to keep it real, keep it basic, keep it simple, but most importantly, we like to inspire hope and let you know that a blissful marriage is possible and you deserve it. Irrespective of what you have seen or heard or been told or gone through, you deserve a blissful home and you can have it. All right, it's possible, it's yours. All right, it's God's plan for you. You need to know that. All right, so I'll stop here for now. Have a beautiful rest of the day or night, wherever you are, and then we'll connect again next week. All right, see you guys. God bless you. Bye for now.